You're described as the working class boy from Warrington who became Salford's second directly elected city mayor in May 2016. How much of your childhood, where money was tight and the stress of debt a constant factor, influenced your politics today?
I think my childhood influenced everything about me in many respects, because it's those formative years of your life which makes you the person you are. And coming from a family where my dad worked at the local power station as a fitter, and worked around the country actually at a lot of power stations, and often we didn't see him, and being brought up by my mum, there was three of us, three boys. It was tough, definitely.
Just explain how much of that real life experience has shaped your politics, especially in relation to the public sector.
It's phenomenal. Basically, the NHS saved my brother's life and kept the family together, and these were really difficult times. It was a period where my dad almost wrote my brother off. He didn't think he was going to survive, and my mum was trying to hold everything together in the family, and grandparents were there doing all the day-to-day stuff, sending us to school, working with us on our homework and trying to keep things together. But yeah, it was a really tough period of our lives.
When you were a kid growing up, did you know what you wanted to be?
No, not at all. Absolutely not. I mean, when you're a child, you go through all these phases, don't you? You think, oh, I want to be a pilot, I want to be a fireman, I want to be a policeman, I want to be a teacher, I want to be a doctor. You think, but I'm motivated by helping others, and I always have been, even from a really young age. That's been the primary driver in my life. What is life all about? It's actually about helping each other and trying to make the world a better place. And
what was it that drove you to become the Mayor of Salford, to put your name forward? Because you became a councillor, I think, in 2012 for Langworthy Ward.
Yeah.
Big step up from that to become mayor. You took over from Ian Stewart. What was you thinking?
It wasn't a goal that I kind of put myself forward for. There was a vacancy, and people approached me and asked me to consider it, and I did, and I put my name forward. But I put my name forward on the basis that this wasn't Paul Dennett putting his name forward. This was very much a team effort, and we were going to create a policy offer, a manifesto for the city, working collaboratively. And there's no way I would be in this role today if it wasn't for many of the people who supported the selection campaign and then on to the election campaign.
You were offered a £6,000 pay rise. I think you were on 69 grand at the time as the Mayor of Salford. You turned it down. Actually, you accepted a pay cut instead.
Yeah.
Okay. What was your reason for that?
I can exist happily on the salary that I get now, and I live on my own. I don't have children, so my overheads aren't massive. I've never really been motivated by earning lots of money either, and for me, money isn't the driver. What you actually do actually matters, and how you change and create opportunities for people in life is what it's all about. But also, there was another point to all of this, and that was, I did want to make a statement about runaway executive pay within the UK economy, and I do think that's part of the problem. In one of the wealthiest economies in the world, the gap between the rich and the poor has continued to grow, and that isn't right. We need a more redistributive economy that genuinely benefits all people. And I'm a firm believer that the best antidote to poverty is decent pay and decent terms and conditions.
What is sensible socialism?
So, what I'm not advocating here that the state controls everything, but what I am advocating is that the relationship between the market and the state is absolutely paramount at the end of the day. The state has a role there, be that the procurement of land, be that underwriting leases on office blocks, be that sharing risk, be that directly building. The state and the market have to work together to actually create opportunities for people.
Why is the Mayor of Salford living in social housing?
So I've lived in social housing virtually all my life since I've lived in Salford, and I've been a great advocate for people who live in social housing. And in a sense, it's social housing and my experiences in social housing in Salford that politicise me. I actually live in a housing co-op where the residents shape the governance of the services that are delivered and also create opportunities for people in the city. And I think it's really, really important.
Do you have any ambitions to become an MP, to really make your mark nationally?
No, well, I didn't have any ambitions to become the Mayor of Salford, so I'm not going to really have ambitions to become an MP. This might sound cliched, but it genuinely doesn't get better than the day job. You know, it's about what you do every single day, trying to help people deal with issues and trying to create opportunities and transform people's lives. That's ultimately what politics should be about.
I looked at a report of your time in Mippen. Apparently you gave, I quote, barnstorming speech and ended with a cautionary note where you said, if you invest in Salford, you should know that our city's soul is not for sale. What do you say then to critics who accuse you of overseeing a campaign of gentrification of the earthy Salford?
For me, it's not about gentrification, it's about inclusive growth, it's about placemaking, it's about creating a place that people can feel a sense of ownership. But it's also about creating a place which isn't just about home ownership or the private rented sector, it's about how can we imbue with what we're trying to create, you know, social housing, affordable housing. You know, it's about trying to do everything at once, really. Salford's story over recent years has been really positive. You know, Swinton Insurance coming to Salford, back home in many respects, creating, you know, hundreds of jobs. HMRC recent announcement at New Bailey, thousands of jobs going to be created in Salford.
Final question, there's two parts to it. Do you ever, or have you ever done the lottery?
I have, but I'm not a regular person who does the lottery.
So if you won the jackpot, would you keep it?
No, I'd probably give a lot of it away. Yeah.
Okay. Listen, Paul Dennett, I thought you'd say that. I've got to know you during this hour. I hope everybody else has as well. I think we've covered lots of areas as well. And thank you very much for Slater Heelis for organising this event. They always pick different people who and I hadn't heard from you before today. I think you've opened up about pretty much every question that's been fired your direction. Put your hands together for Paul Dennett. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Cheers.
Thank you.